Sorry folks, I've got some bad news for you today. You're probably going to have to buy another CasiOak. Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome to another Jomwa x Casio Australia exclusive. Today I get hands on with all 5 colour variants of the new solar and Bluetooth GA2100, aka the CasiOak. Casio themselves don't seem to be in any rush with this model range. It took them a couple of years to release a metal version and a further 9 months to add solar and Bluetooth. But then again, they do say that good things come to those who wait. You saw the pop-up? This video is sponsored by Casio Australia, as I said. I will therefore leave a link to their website in the description of the video, and I'll talk in Aussie dollars today. I'm sure you can convert that to your local currency if you're keen to. I can tell you that these launched next month, May 2022, and the Aussie RRP is going to be $319. That compares quite favourably, I think, to the RRP of the regular 2100s of $249. So I'd imagine that you can expect an increase of around 25% therefore on your local list price for the 2100. For the added convenience of solar and Bluetooth plus a couple of nice touches, I think that works. I think many people will indeed be picking up just one more CasiOak next month. Let's flip the camera and have a look at them. So there you have it, all 5 different colour variants of the new Casio GA-B 2100. Thanks for watching, I will see you in a future video. Yeah, okay, I suppose I better do a bit more than that. These things are notoriously difficult to film though. Ask any watch YouTuber, they will tell you the same. Because of the integrated band, they just do not behave themselves. So I thought I'd do something a bit different today. We're mostly here for the colour. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the 2100 by now, perhaps owning 1 or 2 of these watches. I filmed a bunch of B-roll. I'll run you through the B-roll looking at each of the different colour variants while I'm talking over the top. Then we'll come back and we'll do dimensions a little bit later on. And this watch has 2 USPs, the GA-B 2100. Unfortunately, I cannot show you one of them here today. There is a downside to a world exclusive. Perhaps you can guess what it is before I tell you it. Alright, let's roll the B-roll. Alright, I'm going to start with what I think may end up being the most popular model. This one, the Stealthy Oak. Then I'm going to finish with what I think is my favourite of the 5. This is the GA-B 2100-1A1. They followed a similar pattern of nomenclature as the old models, so blue is 2, yellow is 9, etc, etc. Casio have therefore left themselves plenty of room for a bunch of different colours in the future. So I guess if your chosen colour is not available, don't worry. It won't take them too long, I'm sure, to release a whole bunch more of these new solar Bluetooth variants. Essentially, all dimensions are the same as the old ones, having the same carbon core and resin construction. I'll take you through that a bit later. Apparently they're 1 gram heavier and 0.1 mil thicker despite the tech upgrade. So maybe this is now the second slimmest G-Shock ever, with the battery powered version remaining as the slimmest G-Shock ever. Now I think solar is going to be the major draw here for most people, particularly people who have already got a couple of 2100s in their collection. We know how tough these watches are. Now they're going to run basically indefinitely. A full charge they will run in full darkness for up to 7 months or 18 months if you put them in power saving mode. No batteries, you never need to take off the case back. You'll never compromise the 200 meters of water resistance integrity therefore. You can put the watch in a drawer, pull it out again a year later and it's going to spring back to life. And spring back to life pretty close to the time you set it. Accuracy of plus to minus 15 seconds a month, even when run in isolation, even when run without the Bluetooth link. Talking of the Bluetooth link, sadly, that is the feature that I cannot show you today. It's a brand new model that they've used for this watch. It's module number 5689, and Casio have kindly published the instruction manual for it. Very good of them. I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video, but as yet, they haven't updated the G-Shock app to reflect the new model, and I checked again today. Why would they when the watches aren't on sale for another month or so? So I can't show you the features that you get with the Bluetooth link, but I can tell you about them. Don't dismiss the Bluetooth connectivity. I know many people perhaps may have preferred multiband 6 atomic clock timekeeping. Perhaps we'll see that in 2029 if Casio continues their rather slow upgrade path. but the Bluetooth is more than a gimmick. I must admit I thought it was exactly that. I thought it was a gimmick when I first encountered this about 3 years ago when I reviewed a half metal square, but I have changed my mind to the extent that the last G I bought was chosen specifically because it had Bluetooth. Your watch connects to the app 4 times a day to ensure that it remains super accurate. Now you can of course turn this off if you work at a hospital or with machines that are sensitive to these signals. Let's not get into the irony of your phone keeping your watch accurate, but it is a great thing to have, as is the ability to adjust all of the watch's features from your phone. Time set, world time, even more cities are available. It's 30 odd on the phone itself. It's 300 odd if you use the app, alarms, etc, etc. Now one of my complaints with the 2100 when I did a year on the wrist type video last year was that it was very fiddly to set thanks to the small, often negative display and myriad menus. Not anymore. You can just set it all using the app on your phone, much easier. Plus it has a Find My Phone feature. There are extra reminders that aren't available on the watch alone, so don't write off the Bluetooth even if you are only here primarily for the solar. So that's the first 4, the 1A1 which is the stealthy oak, the 1A which is the grey and black, the 2A which is the blue, and the 3A which is this green one. But my favourite is this one. It's the 9A, it's the yellow one. Now there is an argument that a man of my age should not be wearing a yellow watch, but really, who gives a shit how old you are when a watch looks this good? That thing looks cracking. I love the extra colours, the little splash of red, the little splash of blue, and that yellow multifunction hand over there at the 9 o'clock. Plus, this is the most legible of all of them. White surrounds to the hands and pale grey rather than dark grey indices. I will circle back to legibility in the moans and niggles section in a couple of minutes. But I think the yellow looks fantastic. Yellow 2100s have been available for a while now, but they've always had a black bezel. This one has gone for a yellow on yellow look, but with black hardware. Again, there are a couple of little tweaks to the hardware, the retainer and the buckle and tang. This yellow one features a black buckle and tang and a black retainer. I think it looks great. So that's the different colours then. What do you fancy? Do you fancy this yellow one like me? Or are you going to go for a stealthy oak or perhaps one of the other colour variants? Leave me a comment, let me know what your thoughts are on that. Let's do the basics though, let's do the dimensions and specifications in case this is your first time encounter with the Casio Oak, as unlikely as that is at this stage given how much of a phenomenon this watch has been over the last 3 years. 45.2 millimeters in diameter, 11.9 mil thick with a 48.5 lug to lug. Lug width is a moot point, it's 18, but you're not going to be changing it off the resin band anytime soon, I don't think. And weight, I measure this one at 52 grams on the nose. Mineral crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, stainless steel pushers, stainless steel screw-on caseback, which you'll never have to take off, by the way, as discussed, because this one is solar. Carbon core, keeping things nice and safe, and a resin bracelet, and in this case, it is a metal buckle and tang. Most of the feature set is carried over from the battery-powered 2100s, including one rather useful function. If you hold down light and then press mode, it moves the hands out of the way of the display, so you get a better view of that digital display, the two-liner. Now, I'm sure you've noticed it's a positive display on the yellow and on the 1A, the black and green. That is another reason why I really like this yellow one. It is by far the most legible of the bunch as a consequence. Now, they have done away with the day of the week indicator, but do not fret because you can have the day of the week permanently displayed on the digital display, and I think that is a great piece of design there. That now becomes a multifunction mode indicator and will let you know whether the watch is in world time mode, stopwatch mode, timer mode, alarm mode, is receiving and sending a Bluetooth signal connected to your phone, and then whether the battery level indicator is low, medium or high. They have retained the instant classic looks of the original Casio Oak, but totally changed the utility of that hand. I reckon great design. All the features you'd expect are available by cycling through the mode button on the bottom left. World time, 30 odd cities if you use the phone, 300 plus cities available if you use the app. Stopwatch, countdown timer, 5 alarms, and then The high beep takes you back to the regular time with a high, medium, low battery indicator. Now the two-line display, permanent ticking seconds in the top line, bottom line can be changed so you can have a permanent day of the week. You can have a digital duplication of the 3-hand analog time, or you can have the month and the date of the month. That can be switched over. You can go American with the month and then the date, or you can go European with the date and then the month. So a couple of nice features I have noticed. I discussed the hardware on this yellow one. I do like the fact that they've used a metal black buckle and tang and a black resin retainer. And for the stealth version, we now get a black buckle and tang made of resin rather than the stainless metal one on the original. Very nice, really finishes off the jet black stealthy look. There's also been a nice improvement to after dark legibility. You do get a sliver of neo bright Casio's proprietary lume on the hour hand and the minute hand. The big difference though is the super illuminator LEDs. They've used 2 in these new Bluetooth variants, and you can press them as much as you like because you're not going to drain the battery, are you, because it's solar. One light illuminates the display, the second light illuminates the entire dial face. It's very effective. Here is the new model on the left, the old model on the right. You can see the difference. It really does look pretty good after dark now with the addition of that second LED. But I do have one moan and niggle with these launch variants of the B2100, and that is legibility or lack thereof. Look, I'm not suggesting that legibility is a particular concern if you buy this stealthy all black model, the 1A1. Never was and never will be. If you want legibility, this is the one you need to go for. It's the black and grey variant, but even then it's not all that legible. It does have a positive display. It's not nearly as legible as this old battery powered version. This is the one that I went for with the white hand surrounds and the pale grey indices rather than the black hand surrounds and the dark grey indices of the new model variant. If you want legibility from these new B2100s at the moment, you're going to have to go for the yellow one. Not only can you spot it from the corner of your room, you can also see the indices and the hands much more clearly. But as I've said a couple of times, I'm sure it won't be long before they release many, many more colours, and I'm sure some of them will feature white hands and pale grey indices also. But overall, I think these will sell like hotcakes. The first model did after all, and I think that the solar is enough on its own to justify many people buying either an alternative to their original battery powered one or an addition to their original battery powered one. And don't discount that Bluetooth. It is far from a gimmick and will ensure that your solar power watch, which can run almost indefinitely, remains super accurate indefinitely also. I reckon the stealthy black is going to be the big seller, same as it was last time in 2019. But if you want to buy the yellow one, you go for it regardless of how many years you've spent on planet Earth. So there you have it, a solar and Bluetooth. We'll both have to take Casio's word on that part for not that much more than the previous regular model. You've got a couple of weeks to justify the purchase of one to yourself. If you like the Casio, why not check out my original review or my 1 year on the wrist love and hate video. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.